I'm not sure if this is helping me or if this is hurting me. I've asked for help, but it seems like I'm hurting more. And it's almost like we don't know what we want, or what we ask for what we don't actually want.
Yeah, we're just trying to get comfortable. That's just human nature. A lot of times it'll do this other thing I harp on. God, you know I do. Sound like Dragon Lady. But back it up. Keep backing it up. In other words, whatever subject, whatever is happening for you, back it up to the beginning, such as, when did this start? Well, let's see. It's Thursday. This all began 2 weeks ago when I went to so and so and they said this. And it reminded me something when I grew up. Oh my God, it's a recovery issue. This brought up something that happened when I was a kid. I was bullied. You see how you say most of these things they can tie into imprints from childhood. Most things do. And that's why we have to do these recovery rescues. We have to be, Navy SEALs, Delta Force, go in there and grab ourselves out of ourselves and say, no, 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 now that's in the past. In body code, there's a perception. Dr. Nelson, in his brilliant work, said sometimes, and I've had to have practitioners bring me back to the present. They would say, especially in my early years of body code, and I've done probably 500 sessions. God knows, I don't know. That's a lie. To say, Zoli, you're living in the past. You have to when you walk into a room you're walking into your past. You're still living in that. You haven't resolved it. So let's take that magnetic imprint out. Let's let you move now into the future, living in the present. And it's amazing that we get anything done. It's just psychotic. These memories that we have from childhood and we're still living them. How is it that a CEO of a Fortune 500 company will go home at night and cry like a baby because somebody said something mean? That person might have been bullied at age 8 on the playground. That person's mother or Auntie Joe or something could have said something at a very vulnerable time for that person, and it's still in there. Do you get that? So that's what blocks us. That will block our intuition because we're still trying to save that inner child.
And so it really goes back to healing the inner child first and being really kind and gentle to ourselves, slowing it down, and instead of reacting or panicking.
It takes, yeah, I'm not sure first is exactly it, but that's the idea. We need to attend to it because the inner child will watch. This is my take on it. And I've told this story that when I did the meditation and met my inner child, the little blonde kid came up to me, put her hands on her hips, and kicked me in the knee and said, "You don't listen to me. You don't listen. You put us around any kind of people because you think you're supposed to be nice." So I couldn't fix that then. I was so shocked. It took me a couple years to develop boundaries. So it's not that we can fix it first, but if we attend to it and say, what keeps happening in my life that's blocking my intuition or my blocking moving forward? Why is it? It can be that you've moved to an apartment that has toxic ground. It could be an energy field that you live in. It can be all kind of things. That's why I say get help. There's help out there.
It's hard for people to know that there's help out there because we've become such an individualized society where asking for help is almost discouraged.
Yes, and that individualization was the Piscean age, where we're supposed to be individuals and go within and develop ourselves. Now we are supposed to be, and I hate to say that, but my new age friend's going to be laughing because I get on them all the time for saying, "What do you mean supposed to?" But now I'm saying it, so whatever. There is a God. You're supposed to be able to take that inner self that you develop now and work in a group, but to be authentic. Let's say you have 8 people working on a project, and each of those 8 people is authentic. They are who they are. They're not fuse bonded trying to please everybody. If those people all know who they are pretty much and what their skills are, they'll maintain that and they will be a cog in the whole wheel. And that's the age that we're in. And we're just learning about this. We're scratching the surface of it, of how to work together. I think a great example is this is happening in Missoula, and it started, oh, I don't know, maybe 5, 6 years ago, maybe more, to where some large companies would swoop in and buy up these trailer parks. And these people are living on fixed income. It might be a lovely trailer park, or it might be just close to the earth and pitiful. But they're taking advantage of these people by raising their rent, saying they own the land, the people don't, et cetera, et cetera. So some of these people, I don't know who did it at first, they formed a co-op and they bought the trailer park. So you might have 20, 30, 50 people got together, pooled resources, got a loan. Now they own it. You see how that works? That's powerful. And that is what one person can do. Somebody thought of that. And then somebody tried, had the courage to say, we can own this. Well, I don't see how. Well, let's figure it out. So all those people who don't live in each other's houses, they live separately, very Piscean, have banded together, very Aquarian age, to accomplish something powerful. Powerful. So this is the age that we're in, and it's very hard to do. It's part of all the unrest because we don't really know how to do it. We had to become individuals, and it's good and bad. We're coming out of it. Everything is temporary except love. Hate is temporary. Hatefulness has a beginning, a middle, and an end. Then it's on to something else icky. But love is that hum. It's there all the time. It never ends. And what those people did with these trailer parks and these communities was a loving, powerful thing.
That's incredible. I love hearing stories about people working together and collaborating on things in order to just make it better in their area. And it spreads that kind of love and energy of self sufficiency is almost addictive.
It is, and it's a good addiction. We're all addicted to something. I don't care if it's yogurt or yoga. My doom scrolling on the internet. Oh my God, that's an addiction. But I read another story this morning, and now think about how kindness, gentleness, and this stuff is so simple and clear when it happens. You're like, why didn't we do this before? So there's a YouTube video of there's several pet adoption places. And there are a bunch of people sitting around in chairs in different places. And they let a dog out, and the dog chooses its owner.
Oh, wow.
The dog chooses it because they have this skill and ability that we don't. They know. They know. And it is heartwarming and heart-wrenching. I thought, why haven't we done this? Why don't we do this? You know why we haven't? Because it's so simple and it's so quiet and it's so kind.
Mm.
It's so kind. If you have, a 3 or 4-year-old, and you go to these Christmas parties or these family events, what if instead of like I was growing up, go give Aunt Betty a kiss? I'm like, oh God, she smells. I don't want to give Aunt Betty a kiss. What if you told the kids, everybody, all the adults are sitting quietly and let the child choose. Do you want to go? Do you want to go sit with anybody? Let the child choose.
Oh, wow.
Now, how pissed off are the adults going to be because they didn't get chosen? So what's the kid going to do? Maybe go sit with a dog. Maybe it'll go to grandpa Tom, who's rough and gruff and nobody likes, but the child adores him because he's authentic. That's what I mean. That's what's coming for us. That's what's coming. And that's why we, the people, are important because we're better together. But we're only better together if we can be true to ourselves, if we can be as honest as we can. It's hard. Our school's hard. This is a terrible place. Can you imagine other planets like, oh yeah, well they're a master now, but they graduated Earth school. Oh my God, can you imagine? And let me tell you, these people that are young souls, do you realize that they could be a master level person from another planet and they're here now and they have to start in preschool? They have to start as an infant soul in a way. So that's why it's important not to bloviate that you think you're an old soul because you might have been here for 800,000 years and you still don't have it right. Come on. So I like to tease my new age friends. This one guy, I love him to death. He's hysterical. He's gay and he and his husband have this room that is their dog's room. They have these two foo-foo, I call them just little gay guy dogs. They're adorable. But he said, I just think that everybody doing this is old souls. And I'm like, how do you figure that? How do you, he said, well, I can feel it. And maybe he can because he's a psychic medium. But you don't know that. But he said, my dogs know. They know when somebody comes over to our house because either they'll come out of their room or they won't. And one of the damn dogs has learned to close the door.
Wow.
I've seen it. I'm like, oh my God. So we have to work together and trust the dignity of these beings that we think are less than us. There are some of the most amazing human beings I've met are some people with fetal alcohol syndrome, FAE, FAS. Used to call these people mongoloid. And the sweetest, kindest, gentlest people in the whole world are here to teach us, to teach us. So the higher you get with your power and your money, the more potential for corruption is there, but maybe not. There are some potential gods who are multi millionaires doing amazing things on this planet. So we don't know. The bottom line is to pay attention to your gut. What are you feeling? I get jealous. I get upset. I'm just a person. I'm not going to tell you I don't or that you shouldn't. All you should do is know you. Let nobody tell you what to believe. Krishnamurti, who has passed, Krishnamurti said, don't ever join anything. And what he's talking about is a group that tells you how to act, a religious organization that, of course, says they're right, everybody else is wrong. However, you can join things. I don't really agree with him. He's talking about theosophically. You can join something, and that can be your ticket to find more about yourself by what you like and what you don't like about what you encounter. And that is where the lightness and the joy comes in. The joy muffins you can even throw them at people. Here, you need to be happy. Here, bonk you in the head with a joy muffin. But I'm silly. I've always been silly. My sense of humor is very dark. That's just how I am. So I try not to infect other people with it. But I want to see the absurdities of life. It's like Monty Python. Oh my God, those guys were brilliant. But we should make fun of ourselves more. We've gotten so serious that we're not allowed to make fun of ourselves. I don't mean mean spirited. That's cruel. That's ridiculous. And some people are very insecure and they get attention from being mean to other people and saying cruel things. Well, that karma train's coming. but just to have some lightness and some frivolity. But we have to try. We really do have to try, and it takes an effort. And we get stuck in these patterns, and these patterns are from our childhood. So, what you said yes to kind of first go to that first and ask the inner child, what do you need from me? You might be surprised what you hear. I hope they don't kick you because that hurt.
Well, if
It
you can,
really did.
it would hurt, but it would also hurt to realize, oh, wait a minute, I'm putting everyone else first.
Yeah, I had no idea because I was raised in, I call this hoity toity society. And we were taught as females in the 1950s that you are quiet and you smile pretty and you are kind. And what kind means is you don't rock the boat. Well, I was always rock. I didn't get along well with that, but I was also impressed with that. So I carried that into the first 20 years of my life. And when my inner child kicked me, I had no idea that I had no boundaries. Well, I'm gonna be mean to this person. I need to do what they want because that's rude. No, it's not. It's sanity.